it's the Rawsome Vegan Gal here, and today I'm in the kitchen again to make something from this product from a company called inner-ēco. It's their smoothie pack, 100% young green coconut. And I'm going to talk to you about coconut and make something with it. And I want to thank Nikki for sending me the product for me to be able to review it and to show you what you can do with coconut. Now, they started with one of their first products. Look at my paper here. Is they had their coconut, their kefir, their probiotic, which I reviewed too on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. And I'll also have a link below to this company's site, so you can check them out as well. So, yeah, they have a fresh coconut water probiotic in 3 flavors, and also coconut shots, like little 1 ounce shots that you can buy. So now, as far as their young green coconut, I'm going to talk to you about this shortly, but first I'm going to be making something with it, so I want to start the process of preparing it and then talk about the coconut, because that's going to be added to it. So most of the time people use coconut, like here they talk about using it to make a smoothie or in your fruit salad, with your desserts. So most of the time people do something that they make it sweet. So instead of doing it sweet, I was deciding to do something savory. So this is going to be actually kind of like a sauce or spread, or it can turn into actually like a cold soup if you add more liquid to it. It doesn't have to be liquid. I'm going to be actually using tomatoes over here to give it the liquid. So, and it just depends on how you want it. If you let it stay thicker, then it will actually be more like a spread or a sauce. And then if you thin it out and add more liquid, then it could be like a soup. So this is their, they have 8 servings. This contains 4 2-ounce packets. They come frozen, and I actually defrosted them so I could use them. So once you defrost them, you need to use them within 3 days. You cannot refreeze them. So if you were going to use the whole thing, then you would just take out what you need from the package. So in order to make what I'm going to make, which is going to be a coconut tomato beet type sauce, spread, or soup, however you want it to be. It could be either one of those. So I'm going to be cooking some of the beets here, so I need to do that first. So this is a pot that I actually also did a review of. It's called the black clay Camba pot, but I never showed it being used. So, so I have some golden beets here that I already washed, and I'm going to cut them up, get some water going. Now, with this pot, you have to start it on a low flame to cook. So I'm going to get that going, like I said, because that's going to take a little time. So I'm going to turn that on so we can start heating up. So the water needs to heat up on a low flame when you start, and then you can turn it up just so that you don't burn the pot. So I'm going to start that going, and then I'll warm it up. I'll turn up the flame once it's already warmed up, and I also have my lovely ceramic knife here. This is from a brand called Choisons, C-H-O-I-S-O-N-S. I haven't reviewed this product. It's from the company that carries all these products is called Tribest, and I actually have their blender over here. This is their glass blender. It's called Dynablend because I didn't want a plastic blender, even though they say the Vitamix isn't. So I'm just going to cut up. Now, it doesn't really matter how I cut up these beets, and I choose to use the golden beets because I didn't want it to turn I wanted it to stay the tomato color. I didn't want the red color of the beets. You know, although because I already have the red from the tomato. So if you use beets and you don't want to get the color, you can just use the golden beets, because those won't change the color of what you're making. So I'm just going to cut this up. You know, I can actually cut it up into, cut it in half, and then I'm cutting it into pieces, just to let it, so then it's just going to cook in the water. If I cut it smaller, it'll cook faster, because this is going to go in the blender with the other ingredients that are just going to be, they're not going to be cooked. So I'm going to just start putting that in the water here, even though it's starting to get warm. I'm going to turn up the flame just a little bit more so it cooks faster. Then I'm going to use another beet. So I have kind of a medium-sized beet and a small-sized beet. So, and I leave the skin on. It's all organic. I don't take off the skin. So I'm just going to make some slices here. Again, the smaller you make them, the faster it'll cook. Those I'm not putting that small, but and hopefully it'll be done by the time I get anything else going. So when you make something like a sauce, if you want it to be thicker, you want to use ingredients that will keep it thick. So that's why beets doesn't have a lot of water as opposed to the tomatoes that I'll be using to do. And then I'm also going to be putting in a zucchini, so that'll give it some more thickness, and also a carrot. Now I can cook the carrot with the beets, or I can leave it raw and just chop it up. Either way, it'll be fine in there. I mean, with the beets, the other thing is if you wanted to keep it raw, you could actually just grate it, like for it to blend faster, because I'm not using a Vitamix. You might want to grate it first, or if you have a food processor. I don't have a food processor, so this is the way I'm doing it. So I'm just going to let that cook in the water, and then the water afterwards that is used for the beets can be used for something else. And just to talk to you a little bit about beets, let's see if we can tell you a little bit about the benefits of beets. This is from a book by Brigitte Mars called Rawsome, and I love their raw food encyclopedia, and I refer to it a lot because she has a lot of interesting things here that talk about the foods and their benefits. So let's see if I can find beets and tell you a little bit about beets. Let's see. Beets. We're going to find that in just a second here. Okay, beets are sweet. They have beta-carotene, B-complex, vitamin C, iron, calcium, phosphorus, sodium, and manganese. Being round, beets are considered to have a downward energy, affecting the lower organs, and they benefit the colon, kidney, bladder, spleen, and liver. They are blood cleansing and blood building. They help build red corpuscles and have long been used therapeutically to treat anemia. They've also been used for constipation, infectious hepatitis, irregular menses, acne, lumbago, and low blood sugar. So they can be grated into a salad. She just gives you ideas of how to use it. But we're just going to cook it, and it's not quite up to a boil yet. I'm going to turn up the flame just a little more so it cooks faster. And then the carrot, just to give you, since we're using carrot, we can tell you a little bit about carrot too. Let's see, carrots. Carrots are sweet, alkaline, and warming. They contain beta-carotene, vitamin B6, C, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, pectin, and fiber, and they're rich in flavonoids and potassium. They're antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and a lot of others. I'm not going to go through all of them, because that'll take too much time. And then zucchini. Let's see if she has anything in here on zucchini, with a Z. I'm not sure if she does or not. Or it might be under, like, squash. Let's see, SQ, it doesn't say anything, she might not have here anything about zucchini. She does have some information about coconut, but I'm going to talk to you about the product now while this is cooking. So they came up with this idea because when they were making the probiotic from the water of the coconut, they were just throwing away the coconut, and they came up with the idea is, why don't we make it and sell it? So they blend it, mix it, so they puree it, and it's 100% natural. They don't use it. There's nothing else in here but just the coconuts, and it has the different portions for using for smoothies. And just so that you know, there's no sugar added. It's dairy-free. It's vegan-friendly. It's gluten-free, and no GMOs. So the young coconuts is where they get this from. As you can see, the green color. That's what the coconuts look like when they're young. When they take off that shell, the coconut is no longer protected. That's why it's better if you can get them with that green shell on it. So the young coconuts have significantly fewer calories than the mature ones, and they're a good source of manganese, important for bone health. So like this, you can also, it says here, replace your canned or processed coconut in your favorite recipes with this young green coconut. It's naturally low in sugar, 0 cholesterol, 0 trans fats. So that's why they do this. Instead of you having to crack the coconut, they take care of the job. So, like I said before, you can use it in many different things. It's handcrafted in small batches, so you know, and hand-scooped, pureed, and packaged in Colorado. And let's see if there's anything else that they have here to tell you about. It's a good snack. You can eat it right from the pouch as well. And it also comes in, this one is their 4 2-ounce package, but it also comes in in 4, let's see, it also comes in 4 2-ounce package. I'm sorry, this is what it is. This is the plain one. It also comes with cacao in it. And then they also have 2 4-ounce packages, but these are the 2-ounce packages. So that's just to tell you a little bit more. So just to tell you a little bit about coconut, the benefits of coconut. So let me just check on our beets here. On the beets, the water is starting to get warm. It shouldn't take too long to cook that. So coconut is the largest known seed in the fruit of the coconut palm. And it's sweet and warming. It contains 70% fat, most of which is saturated. It's also high in iodine, which is important for normal thyroid function, a good source of protein, beta-carotene, B-complex, minerals. Coconut is considered an energy tonic, that would be the liquid. And the young green coconuts, which is what this is, contain up to a pint of rejuvenating coconut water. And again, this is not the water, this is just the meat, so that doesn't apply. Let's see, what else can I tell you about coconut? It's I don't see anything else more about the meat of the coconut. What they say here is about you could spoon it out and make noodles out of it. I don't know if once it's frozen you can do that the way they prepare it. So now I'm going to actually open up the package because it hasn't been opened. It's just been defrosted to show you what it looks like. And it's really nice. It has a Ziploc pack. It Ziploc's closed if you're going to use it. So this is what they look like. So mine are already soft. You can see that it's already soft. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, so there's 4 of them in here. So it's just the coconut, and I can smell it. So this is just going to go in the blender, and I'm going to just see how much I need in order to keep it thick. So since it's in packages like this, what I would do in order to get it, you have to cut it open, and they don't have any tab on it, is I would just smush some of it down so I don't waste any when I cut it open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some of this into the blender and see how our beets are doing. They're almost coming up to a boil. So yeah, I'm just going to do that and then get a different knife here that I can cut it with. And then what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to open that, just like that. And then I'm going to see if I could, I don't know if I have to scoop it out or take the blender container down so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to see if I can just squeeze this out just like this instead of having to go in there. Yeah, that's a much better idea, is just to see how I'm squeezing it out once the bag is open. And so this is really nice. And it seems to defrost pretty fast. So it's still pretty cold. I just wanted to make sure it was defrosted once I was going to use it. So some of it is getting on my fingers. It's not the neatest way, but it's the best way I can think about doing it. So now when I make this, it's not going to stay white because there's going to be other things in here. It's going to turn, it's going to be... So what can you do with this? If you're using it as a sauce, you can put it on pasta. I don't use traditional pasta, but you can do zucchini pasta raw. You can also do spaghetti squash if you want to cook up spaghetti squash and take out the spaghetti from there. This is a little messier than I thought it would be. Let me just wash my hands off. And I want to check on the beets to see how they're doing. I think they're coming up to a boil almost. So once you have that done, you might want to open it up, see if we can get any more out of it. If it's not going to be too messy, or just leave it alone. I think it's easier, it's less messy to do it this way. So I might just use 2 packets. I haven't decided. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start blending it with the other ingredients and see how thick it comes, or again how thin. Again, it could be like a coconut soup, but I want it more as a sauce. So I think I'm going to start with 2. And then the tomatoes I have here are really nice. They're called Campari tomatoes. And I'm not advertising the company, but it's from a brand called Sunset. But they're really nice. They're hothouse. They're greenhouse grown and they're non-GMO. And they're really nice rich red color. So I'm not going to necessarily use all of them because it might be too much. It might thin it out too much. So I think the beets are just about up to boil. I'm going to turn down the gas here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another one of these smoothie packs to open up, and I'm just going to smush this down so I can, you know, it might be better to leave it a little more frozen to get it out. Maybe it wouldn't be as messy. I don't know what the how it would work, but we'll try it. We'll just do it again this way. You know, you might want to create like some other way to do it. I don't know. Maybe the company can come up with something where it's easier to get it out without being so messy. Although it's not too bad. So I'm just going to squeeze that out of here. So I think for right now I'm just going to use 2. Just because I want to just see how it's going to go. And the beets are boiling. So those shouldn't be too long while we're getting the rest of the ingredients ready for this. So another thing you can put this on I want to show you is another product that I actually reviewed on my YouTube channel that you could also look up. They're called shirataki noodles, and they're made from I think it's from a yam. The company's called Miracle Noodle. I could show that to you if I can get it up. It's called Miracle Noodle, and it's from, let's see, it's from a root of a plant called the Kanyaku imo. It's the fiber of the plant, known as glucomannan. So it doesn't have any calories, but this one has spinach in it, but if you get the plain one, like they have one with rice, which is nice, this is their miracle rice. So since it's white, whatever you put on it, if you see that, it looks like little rice, it'll become that color. So the beets are boiling, and I'm getting my coconut into the blender here. And I will add the other ingredients and start blending it. Now the zucchini will keep it thick too, so I'm going to add just probably maybe 3 or 4 tomatoes to start. And then again, like I said, I can always add more tomatoes if I want. But once I have them in there, I can't take them out. So the idea is to start with less if you want to make it thick like a sauce. If you want it as a soup, then you can add as much as you want. If you want it to be thinner. But even if you make it as a sauce, you can always later on add more tomatoes or some other liquid, like maybe from the beets, if you want to make it into a soup. And it could be a cold soup or you could warm it. But I prefer it if it would be a cold soup. It would be really nice in the hot weather. I'm just going to rinse off my hands here. So now I got the two 2-ounce packets in there. So that's about 4 ounces. Let's see how the beets are boiling. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add, so now when you do it in a blender, it's always best to put your more watery ingredients in first to help the blender work. So since there's not that much coconut in there, I'm going to cut some tomatoes up. I think I'm going to start with, I have one big one, maybe I'll start with 3 of them right now and see how we get. I'm just going to use 3, and I don't have to cut them up too much because the blender will do the work. I'm just going to cut them in 4s, put them in the blender. And again, I can always add more. I can't take it away. And then we're going to put some seasoning in it as well. And the sky's the limit too on how you want to season it. Since I'm making it a savory one, you can put in herbs, spices. You can put in, I have some fresh basil, some fresh parsley, which I have to get out of the fridge. I forgot, so pardon me as I find my parsley here. I forgot to take that out of the fridge. So what I would do is I don't want to turn it green. I want it to stay the red color. So I will just add it in afterwards. I'm just going to take a couple of parsley out here for now. And I'll wash that off. So I have my 3 tomatoes in there. Now I'm going to add my zucchini. And again, I don't have to cut this up too much. I'm just cutting it in half. And then probably in quarters. I mean, this is not such a high-speed blender like the other, so I might cut it again in sticks. So I cut it in half and then in 4s, and then make little pieces, just like that, if you can see that. And then I'm adding that as well. And again, a carrot I ended up not cooking. I'm going to leave it raw, but I'll just cut it up small. So this is our zucchini. And if you don't want to use green zucchini, because it might turn it green, depending if I have enough tomato in there, then you can always get yellow zucchini if they have it, or you can actually, if you want to, even peel the skin of the green one. That might actually not make it so green, but I'm not using that much. And I also have the beet to add, so it should be an interesting color. The beet should make it, it might not be as red, it might be turned into more golden. But we'll see how it comes out. This is the first time making it like this with the coconut, so we'll see what we get. Okay, so now I have the zucchini in there. And then I'm going to add the carrot on top. And then we're going to season it. I have some fresh lemon here. So we're going to take our carrot. And the carrot I'm also going to cut up smaller, just because it's not cooked, so it's not really soft. So I'm going to cut it in half the long way, and then in half again. And just cut little pieces. I guess you call those like quarter moons. So just little pieces just to add. And then you can always add things like pepper if you want. That's another nice thing to add. I'm also going to be adding miso. Now miso is very salty, and I did a video on that from the company called Great Eastern Sun that distributes this miso. So if you're using miso, you don't need salt, and you don't need things like kelp or other kinds of salty seasoning, because it has quite a bit of salt in it. And you want to monitor that, so you want to put in a little bit at a time. And this is their Miso Master Chickpea miso, so it's a soy-free miso. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start blending this. And I'm not putting the lemon in yet or any of the seasonings. I'm just going to see how it does without it. And then the beets I'll add as well. But I'm going to start doing this, so it's going to be a little noisy to start. See how we get here. Here it goes. You hear it? Making a nice blend really nicely. I have to see if it needs a little more. So it looks, I don't know if it's going to be thick enough. It looks, I don't know how thick it is. We'll see how it is. But hopefully the beets will make it thicker. So it looks pretty. The color is actually kind of nice. It's kind of an interesting color. It almost blended up completely. Let's see. With the coconut. Yeah, it's pretty good thickness, actually. I'm pretty satisfied with the thickness. I don't think I'll add any more tomatoes, because the tomato might water it down too much. But I will add some lemon. And I want to just check on the beets, because they might actually be ready. Now you have to be really careful with this pot. It gets really hot, and I always like to put the cover down this way. So let's check on the beets, see if they're done yet. I think they're still a little bit hard. So we're going to let that go a little bit longer. They're getting there. They don't have to be super soft because I'm blending them, but just to take away a little bit of the edge off for the blender. But in the meantime, I'm going to cut some lemon and squeeze some in there for the flavor. And get out the seeds. We don't want the seeds in the final production here. So I'm just going to pull out the seeds here. Try to squeeze some in. Okay, I'm going to squeeze some lemon in. Now, if you like it very tangy, another thing, if you want it to have a little kind of sweeter flavor, but still be tangy, you can add orange, you can add lime. The option is yours. If you want it to be more vinegary, there's a product I really like that I'll get, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it into the camera. It's another option you could use instead of lemon is from a company called Coconut Secret. It's their coconut vinegar instead of apple cider vinegar. This is just from coconut as well, so this is another coconut product. So that's a really nice option as well. So yeah, I squeezed in, a few good squeezes of the lemon. And then another thing you can add that I like is turmeric. Turmeric is antioxidant, so I have some ground turmeric here. I'm going to put in a little bit. Not too much because I don't want it, it has kind of a strong flavor. And then at the end, what I'm going to add is some poppy seeds. Poppy seeds are also antioxidant. And then right now, I'm going to add in some miso. So I'll probably put in about a tablespoon. Let's see what we got here, spoon-wise. I need to find a spoon. Fork. I know I have a spoon here. So I'm going to start with maybe a teaspoon. Roughly, it's not exact measurement, just because I want to see if it's not going to be too salty. So that, I'm just blending right into it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So that looks really nice. Check out the color. It's not super red, but I think if I put in too much tomatoes, it's actually going to be too watery. because again, I want it to be thick. And it actually has a nice, you can see in the camera, it has a nice thickness if I go like this. See how nice and thick that is? And I think the beets will make them even thicker. So let's see how the beets are actually doing. I'm going to check on that. Get out another utensil here. Excuse my back for a second. Get out another spoon here. I prefer to use wooden spoons. And let's see. Pretty good, I think. I think we could start putting it in. They're not super soft, but I think they're soft enough to blend. So I'm going to take some out here and put them in the blender and give it a whirl. See what we get. So this might turn it a little more golden color. I mean, it's now kind of like it's not a super red color. The other trick that I found, if you want to make something, if you lose the color, is paprika. Paprika will, I've done that in my gazpacho soup, and it gives it a redder color. So let's see. I'm not going to blend it all right now. I'm going to turn this gas off. I'm just going to blend a small amount first to see, make sure it blends up good. Since we have already a liquid base, it should blend pretty well. So let's see how it blends. Definitely a really nice kind of more of a golden color. Look at that now. Isn't that pretty? A really pretty color. So it looks like it blended up pretty well. And it smells really good too. So I'm going to add the rest of the beets and blend those up. So I don't know how long the beets have been going. I don't know if it's 10 minutes or more. So, but I'm going to add the rest that's left in here. And then, like I said, if you always want to make it into a soup, you can always add more tomatoes and a little bit of the beet water. That will give it a nice flavor. Because there's a lot of nutrients in the water, you don't want to throw that out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and blend up the rest of this. And then I'm going to taste it to see if it has enough flavor from the miso and the lemon. So that's really pretty. If you see that in the camera, look how pretty that is. It's more of a golden yellow color. Now I'm just going to give it a little taste just to see if it's flavored enough. It's actually nice. I'd probably add a little more lemon and a little more miso. And then give it another quick blend. But it does have a very nice smooth taste. Not too strong. Not too spicy. I mean, if you like spicy, you can add spicier things. You know, that's really up to you. And I'm going to add just a little bit more miso. Rinse off the spoon here. Or actually, I have my miso spoon right here. So yeah, I'm not going to add any more of the smoothie thing. I mean, I could if I wanted to. So I'm going to add maybe another teaspoon of miso. And then I will show you the finished product, how I would assemble it, you know, add the other seasoning herbs to it. So we're just going to blend that in once more. Okay, I'm going to take another taste to see how we did here, flavor-wise. Make sure it has a nice balanced flavor. That's good. That's good. Probably just a little more lemon. I'm a lemon fan. Or citrus. So just a little bit more, give it a little bit more tang, but I think salt-wise I think it has enough. So I'm just going to mix it up with the other spoon just to see. I think that's good. Test it one more time. Yeah. It's not too strong. Some people might like it stronger. You can always add more miso, add, you know, more lemon. So now what I have to garnish it with, first I'm going to wash off my parsley here. So now what you could do is just put it in, and I also have some rosemary and basil here. I'm just going to rinse off. And the rosemary comes from the garden here, and the basil comes from this plant. Another product, I'm doing a lot of product promotion here. This is from a company called Back to the Roots. They're garden in the can. I actually did a video. They do cilantro and basil. So this is the basil. I'm coming to the end of the season, I guess. It's kind of coming to the end, but I keep pulling them off and it's still growing. So this is the fresh basil. So I'm just rinsing that off here, and what I'll do, I'm going to show you, I'll put some in a dish. What I'll do is just, from the parsley, I'll just take off a few sprigs and add them. And what I like to do is you can chop them up. I'm just going to take off the actual sprigs on top, but you can also cut up the stems if you like and add those into. You can cut them up fine. You can also add the stems while you're blending it if you prefer it that way. So I'm just going to show you. So I'm just taking off the leaves and I'm going to chop those up pretty fine. And then the basil and the rosemary I'll do separately. So I'm just going to chop up the parsley. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the bowl first. So I want you just to see what it looks like. Oops, I got the rosemary mixed in here accidentally. So then I'm going to pour the sauce, the coconut tomato beet sauce, I guess we can call it. So just chopping up the parsley here and put that in the bowl. And then it'll give it a nice color too. So I didn't want it to turn all green, so that's why I did it this way. Then I'm going to chop up the basil that I already washed. And chop it up as fine as you like, or not as fine as you like, whatever you like it is fine. And then with the rosemary, I have them just on these sprigs, so I'm just going to pull some off of here without the stem. And those I don't usually chop up, I just usually put that right in when I put it in my salads. Rosemary is really good, it's high in antioxidants. So put in some more of the rosemary here. Okay. And then I'm going to pour the sauce into it. And then I'm also going to sprinkle some the poppy seeds on top. So let's get some of this out. And I'm going to pour some of that into the bowl. And then mix it up into it. And like I said, again, this could become a soup, sauce, a spread. It's not as thick for maybe a spread, although it's pretty thick. So I'm just going to mix the herbs that I put in here. So it gives it a nice color balance. And you can see what it looks like. See how pretty that is? See how pretty that looks? And then the herbs, the fresh herbs, give it a nice flavor too. So as they're sitting in this sauce, spread sauce, soup, you could, the flavors will melt into it. So I'm going to add some poppy seeds on top just for a little decoration. Just to give it something a little different look to it. Mix it in a little so you can see that. And I'll show you the final product. So we can have some of to add a little something pretty to it. So there is our coconut beet tomato sauce with fresh herbs. See how pretty that looks? Now, of course, like I said, you can't see the coconut. But, and you can add the rest. I might add the rest. I don't know if I want it thicker. But right now I think it's pretty thick. And it tastes really good. So, again, I want to just mention the product that I reviewed. And we made this wonderful savory dish instead of a sweet one. So this is our inner-ēco smoothie pack. 100% young green coconuts. They're ready to use. You blend them, mix them, bake them, snack them. It's 100% coconut, nothing else. It's the 8 servings of 4 2-ounce packets. And I hope you'll check them out. I think it's a great company. They're doing wonderful work. They're offering this to the public as a way for you to have the coconuts to eat without having to do all the work. So I thank you for watching. It's the Rawsome Vegan Gal.